welcome to Cooking for Life. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about something that's really near and dear to my heart. It's something I've become kind of addicted to. I'm going to be really honest with you and admit this. I have an addiction with curry. Curry is one of these wonderful kind of mysterious spices that you can find in most grocery stores, but there's so much history and so much mystery and so much flavor behind curry. So we're going to be doing a little exploring of curry today. Curry, as you find it in the store, we've got some here at the Tree of Life Market. We've got some mochi curry, we've got some lemon curry, we've got some original straight curry. But curry is actually a spice that is made up of a lot of different spices, and we're going to do a little exploring of those today. I've got a basket here of some of the different spices that are make up of a curry. You've got some cinnamon in there, you've got cloves, we've got some fenugreek, which is what this is, and that actually is one of the things that adds that distinctive smell of curry. We've got black pepper and cardamom and nutmeg. What a traditional curry, when they make a curry spice, they're going to be taking a lot of these raw forms of the different spices and toasting them in a pan and then grinding them up in a spice grinder to give you that fresh blend of curry. As I was doing some research for the show today, I read that in India, where most people think traditionally of curry, they actually wouldn't have something like this in their cabinet. They don't have a curry in their cabinet. They'll either make it or they'll put together a combination of spices, but they won't have just a curry powder. But here at the Tree of Life Market, of course, we do carry a curry powder for you. If you come in, I encourage you to come and smell the different types of curries, because there's definitely a different scent to each one of them, and I love to come out and smell the different spices, which is a lot of fun. But one of the things we're going to do today, we're going to be making a couple different things, as we always do. Just using curry in several different ways. Got some fun guests on today who are going to share a love of curry with you that may be surprising, but it's really kind of a fun thing. We're going to do curry carrots today. We're going to be making curry cookies, which I know sounds kind of unique, but they're really tasty, so I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to start with the curried carrots, really simple. Carrots, inexpensive. Pretty much you can find them anywhere. Delicious, good way to add some beta carotene into your diet, helps with eyesight, etc. We're going to make some curried carrots. All we're going to do is we're going to put just a pound of carrots that I cut up nickel-sized in a pan with 2 tablespoons of butter. And I am going to put in about 16 cloves of garlic that I cut up, or that I just peeled here earlier. There's nothing more to it than that, just the cloves of garlic in there. And then I'm going to take some of our lemon curry that I have here, and I'm just going to put about a tablespoon of curry in with our carrots and our garlic. I'm going to sprinkle that over here. And I'm going to put a little bit of water in with it, and the water will just keep it from burning off. But what we're going to do is we're just going to keep cooking this down until the carrots are nice and soft. It's probably going to take about 20 minutes for this to cook down, for the carrots to be nice and soft. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make those curry cookies that I told you about. Now, I know curry and cookie, it sounds kind of like an interesting combination, but I promise you these are really delicious. They're unique, and I think if you would bring them to a party or to a church function or just serve them to your family, you're going to find that people are going to come back for another one, because they're kind of addictive. So, thus my confession about my addiction to curry earlier. These are my new favorite cookie. So they're very simple to make. We're going to take a cup of butter. So we're going to use 2 sticks of butter here. And we're going to get that going in the mixer. And we're going to use 2 cups of brown sugar. So I'm not saying these are low calorie, because that's not what they are, but they're crisp and spicy and delicious. So we're going to get the butter going here, getting that cream together nicely. You know, I like to put my vanilla right in with the butter. The vanilla flavoring actually then will adhere to the fat molecules in the butter, and it'll better disperse the vanilla flavor to the cookies. So we're going to put in 2 generous teaspoons of vanilla. If we accidentally spill a little extra in there, that's okay. I think you can never have too much vanilla. Well, that's not true. Please don't pour the whole jar in, that will ruin them. Okay, so we're going to get the butter and the vanilla going together, and then we're going to put in our 2 cups of brown sugar. We're going to get that creaming together, and you're really going to want to get this nice and creamy. The more you blend these together, our nice brown sugar here, the better it is. You want the color on this to change, so it's a really light brown color. So we'll get those going together here. This will take a minute. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to be putting together 3 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda. We're also going to do a half a teaspoon of salt. And then comes the fun part. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of curry. Now, there are different types of curry, I told you, and you want to make sure that you're going to get a sweeter curry as opposed to going with a more savory type curry. This is just a standard curry powder here. And I'm going to use 2 heaping teaspoons of curry here. And isn't that a lovely color? This is going to give the cookies a fun color. Got 2 teaspoons of that. And then the other thing that's going to add some really nice flavor and a nice scent to it is cardamom. We're going to do a half a teaspoon of cardamom. I know growing up, my grandma's Norwegian, and cardamom was always a traditional Christmas spice that we used in Norwegian baking, but it works well in our curry cookies too, because cardamom is actually a flavor that is part of a curry. So we've got our dry ingredients together here. I'm just going to mix those together to get those all incorporated. Our brown sugar and our butter are creaming together nicely with the vanilla. We're going to be putting in 2 eggs. So I'm going to crack the eggs into a separate container first and then put them in. I love these brown eggs. There are farm fresh eggs that you can get here at the market. I'm going to scrape down the sides of the bowl here so we can get that butter all nice in here. Make sure that's all incorporated well. I was talking with one of our employees here. She teaches our tea class, and I had her sample the cookies yesterday, and it was almost like a light bulb went on over both of our heads immediately. At the same time, she's like, I need these for my tea class. Her tea class is really fun. She makes her own blends of tea, so just kind of the same way that you can make your own curry, she actually does different blends of tea. It's really fascinating. That class is going to be available in October and November yet. So if you're interested, go to our website and you can find out more information about our cooking classes. We've got lots of them. In the tea class, she'll be serving our curry cardamom cookies. So I'm going to pour our 2 eggs in here. We'll get those beating in, getting them nicely incorporated. And then I'm just going to start incorporating the flour so that it gets mixed in nicely with the butter and sugar, vanilla, egg combination. You just want to add it slowly. You don't want to dump it all in. For one, it'll make a big poof and make a mess all over the countertop. And for 2, it helps just to better incorporate it in here. Okay, we're just going to scrape the batter off of the beater here. And then this is a dough that's going to need to be refrigerated for at least 4 hours. It's going to be a sliced cookie. So good thing to do, have the kids help roll it up in the wax paper. It makes 4 logs of cookie dough. You can also freeze it, so you can make 1 today and then save the rest for another time. If you have guests come up unexpectedly to your house, you can just say, I'll just whip up some cookies real quickly here. So we'll just take the dough. You can see how it's a nice sturdy dough. And this is where it's fun. You can just kind of play with the dough here. I just rolled it out into one kind of nice little log there, and then I'll just take a knife and I'll cut it into 4 pieces and put it into 4 separate rolls on our wax paper here. The kids kind of like this part, playing with it. It's kind of like playing with Play-Doh, except it's real. Of course, you want to encourage them not to lick their fingers because it does have raw egg in it. And my daughter's very much trained to that. She'll always ask, can I taste that? I'm like, nope. She's like, does it have raw egg in it? Yep, it does. Let's wait until it's baked. That's why she likes to catch me when I'm at the cream and butter stage, because she can still have some because it doesn't have any raw eggs in it yet. Just a good opportunity to talk with kids about food safety. So we'll take our 4 logs of cookie dough here. We're going to put them in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. For you, I've of course made some ahead of time so that we can get it in this half-an-hour show. But we will pull that out and we'll slice it up and we'll bake it in a little bit. Oh, in fact, I'm going to have one of our friends is on today. I'm going to have him help me with that. I will introduce you to my guests as soon as we come back. We'll see you in a minute.
It's that time of year, summer's over, and the holidays are upon us. One of my favorite times to get together with family and friends. Deals are better in the country, so make the short drive down Highway 149 to Furniture Warehouse in Cumberland City. You'll be glad you did. Is there a particular style you're looking for? No problem. Here at Furniture Warehouse, we're happy to sit down with you, go through our many fabric options, and find something to fit your exact home decor. So get out of town and come on down to Furniture Warehouse Sales in Cumberland City, Tennessee. We look forward to seeing you soon.
I don't know about you, but I don't always have time to drive forever to find those ingredients that I'm looking for to feed my family, natural, like organic ingredients. And thanks to the Tree of Life Market, I don't have to drive anymore. All the organic fruits and vegetables that you can think of, got to grab those. The selection here is amazing. I just found JD Country Milk. Tree of Life also carries HBC products. Things you can't find anywhere else, you can find right here. Come and see us at the Tree of Life Market, 30 Crossland Avenue. You'll be glad you did. Well, we're back, and I have with me my special guest that I promised I would introduce to you. I have Coach Kirby Cannon from APSU Football here with us today. Thank you, Coach Cannon, for being with us. And I also have Athletic Director from APSU, Derek Vandermeer, who is our guest chef today. He comes prepared to make for you his own curry recipe that came out of South Africa. South Africa. So he's going to give us a little history and background about how he came upon this fantastic curry recipe that we could share with you today. But before we get to Chef Vandermeer today, we're going to have Coach Cannon show us his slicing skills. As a football coach, I would imagine you've got to be pretty quick with things. You've got to be able to call the shots. You've got to be able to do things spur of the moment.
Absolutely, just not knives very often.
Well, we didn't practice this at all, so I'm going to say this is spur of the moment. I'm going to show you how to slice cookie dough.
I'm going to come out injury-free.
Okay, that's all I'm asking. The knife isn't terribly sharp enough to do the job, but not terribly sharp. So this is our cookie dough, our curry cardamom cookies wrapped in a little wax paper here. We're going to get this out of here. And then about 1/4 inch of slices. So, and we're just going to set them on the cookie sheet, which has got a little pan liner there. So I'm going to cut off the ends here so we can start with a nice slice there. And so probably about like that. Okay. You want to do that?
Yeah,
you got that? I've got full confidence in you here that you can make this happen. So I'm really excited to have the guys on the show with me today. Big things happening at APSU. You guys have been building.
Have our first football game this weekend, so
yeah.
We're excited about it.
Very cool. And tell me, building obviously not just a fantastic football program and an athletic program, but you guys also kind of added something to the campus.
It changes the landscape of campus.
A little bit.
This is, Austin Peay is one of the fastest growing universities in the state of Tennessee, and there's been so much change with academic buildings and residence halls. It's sort of that one piece that needed to come into play was to replace a 1950 construction with something that's brand new that sort of ties the whole campus community together. So it's very exciting.
So we've got a brand new football stadium.
Brand new football stadium, and we're excited for this year.
We're excited for it to get started. I'm looking forward to coming and seeing some games. You got the guys all ready to go?
They're ready to go.
This is the first game?
This is our first home game.
First home game, okay.
We played 2 weeks ago and didn't come out on the good end of that. But we're looking forward to playing University of Tennessee Chattanooga, 4 o'clock on Saturday.
That's going to be great. So September 13th, which will actually already be done by the time the show airs, but that's we'll know the results.
That's
so
great.
that'll be a fantastic thing. That looks lovely. I think we probably can fit the rest on if you want to. We'll squeeze them on here. Do you want to show us what you're going to do to get started? How do you get started with this?
Absolutely. Well, roughly about, I always, to sort of get the base going, start with about a half cup of olive oil. I'm always liberal with olive oil because I love cooking with olive oil. I think it's a great taste and flavor. I'll start with my garlic.
And about how much garlic is that?
That's roughly about 5 cloves. I'm a big fan of garlic. I use a lot of it as well. I think it's really a great taste with onions. And so I'll start by browning the garlic.
Okay.
And just making sure we don't burn it, just brown it up a little bit, and then I'll add the onion in. So.
Okay. Well, it smells good already. Olive oil and garlic together, that's pretty much, and more.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, Coach Cannon, you have done a fantastic job. Wow, it's almost like a football play. You know, we could play with that, and you could like say, okay, now guys, you're going to go this way. No,
absolutely. That's the O's of the X's and O's.
We're going to throw this in the oven, and we're going to let them bake for about 12 minutes.
Too many men on the field, by the way.
I would get a flag on that, wouldn't we? Yeah. Okay, I'll be right back.
Part of it.
Okay, so we've got some chopped onion here.
Yeah, some chopped onions. We'll just cook that right down, brown it out. And,
is that about 1 onion?
Yeah, it's one medium white onion.
Okay.
And like I said, one of those things that just finely chop it and then cook it right down, brown it out. So, you know, occasionally I have added sugar to caramelize it. I'm not doing that today. Like I said, it's kind of one of those things I'll play around with sometimes, but usually I just go with straight onion and cook it right down.
Okay, so we're going to add the ginger in here.
Yeah. Now, ginger, I'm always a little bit leery on because I'm not as liberal with that because I think it can add too much flavor sometimes.
There's a little bite to ginger.
Yeah, there's a little bit of bite to ginger. So I'll put 2 teaspoons in.
Okay.
And I'll just sort of, right at the end there and kind of cook that in. And that'll just sort of be a part of that, that'll be cooked into it as it starts to continue to cook down.
Okay. You know, ginger has great properties about it that make it a very soothing thing, even though there's a lot of bite to ginger and a lot of punch to ginger. I have found that we carry a crystallized ginger here at the market, and it's become my go-to. Having had 4 children, one of the things that plagues a pregnant woman is heartburn, and I consumed a lot of those little chalky tablets that come in the little plastic container and really can't stand them. So when I do have an upset stomach, I find myself going for the crystallized ginger, and it's amazing how well that works to calm the upset stomach, which seems contradictory because heartburn and the burn of ginger, and yet it negates it or something. It's really a fascinating thing. But they do say too that ginger works well if you have car sickness or get motion sickness, like when you're flying or on a boat, that if you nibble on some ginger, that can help to soothe your motion sickness. All these wonderful, fascinating things that you know about ginger that we had to use in moderation here in your curry. So if you're not feeling well and feeling a little motion sick, you might want to add extra ginger to your curry. I don't know. Because it's smelling amazing. Has he made this for you before?
No, never has.
Oh, so you had to get invited here. And, okay, well, we'll reserve judgment until we taste it. But it smells really good.
Only my best friends get to do that. We're working on that.
Okay, well, you guys only known each other for a little while. Very, very good. Delicious. Good. Yeah.
Next step is we're going to brown the chicken. So,
okay, so we're going to move that into a different bowl. And
we'll move this into a different bowl, and then we'll use the same one.
Okay.
We'll come back to this bowl and we add everything back together. So.
Okay. So have you ever actually been on a cooking show before?
No, I've been a cooking judge for a couple competitions.
Okay.
I've done a lot of different things.
So you know the pressure that people are under now.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is but you seem so calm.
No, I've done a lot of cooking. I started cooking. I told you the story on the phone. When I was 14, 15 years old, my first job was I was hired by Big Boy Restaurants, which is sort of a Shoney derivative in the north. Up north, yep. Yeah, and one of my first jobs was this gentleman who hired me, the owner of the restaurant, said, listen, we'd like you to come in. We have a lady who's retiring in a few years, and we want you to write down. She doesn't write any of her recipes down.
Oh, yeah.
So I spent a year writing down all of her recipes. So at the same time, sort of, she got me involved in doing, and that's sort of my first experience with cooking. So,
that is very fun. Yeah. I'm actually reading a book right now called How I Learned to Cook, and it features all kinds of stories from different famous chefs of the day today. Rick Bayless is on there. Chris Bianco is on there from Pizzeria Bianco down in Phoenix. Rick Bayless of Chicago fame with Mexico One Plate at a Time. But each one of them is telling their story about how they learned to cook. So we could get you in there too.
Absolutely.
And Volume 2.
That's right.
Derek Vandermeer, How I Learned to Cook.
That's right.
It was thanks to the Big Boy restaurant chain.
That's right. Well, back then there wasn't none of the food was prepped. Everything was prepped. It wasn't pre-made.
Okay.
Today, much more of the food's pre-made, but there was a chance to sort of learn how to do it from a person who's been doing it for years.
And that really is probably the best way to learn. I know Rich is going to...
Well, I'm putting that on. I'm going to get the rice going.
Perfect.
Yep.
We'll just plug this in.
Using a basmati rice. So whenever you're cooking with curry, basmati is, to me, the best rice to use. And what I did is I did rinse this rice out. I used 2 cups with about 3 cups of water. Okay. Rinsed it let it sit for about 14, 15 minutes, and then rinsed it twice to get all the starch out of the rice, and then added olive oil.
Okay.
So
So about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of olive oil?
About a tablespoon of olive oil.
And do you like to cover it first, or do you like to get it boil first?
I like to open it up, cook it down, and then cover it.
Okay.
So
perfect. So now, have you taught your children what it is that you do here? You've got 3 kids.
Yeah, you know, I have 3 kids, and my oldest already, you can see she enjoys cooking. You know, she gets the cooking magazines, and she goes through and she tags all of her favorite recipes and things that she's really, really.
Oh, that is fun.
Absolutely. So she's already starting to get into it, and but you know, curry's a staple. It's been a staple. I since the kids were 12 months, 13 months old, they were eating curry. So it's, you know, they like that, exploring a little bit of the foods, and they're not afraid to eat things. And I think just because they've been introduced to it so much.
I completely agree. I have people ask me why my kids are such good eaters, and I think it's just because they just ate what we ate.
That's right.
And this is what we were eating, so they would have it too.
Yeah.
There's actually a baby food company that we're looking to carry here in the store out of Nashville, and she makes a curry baby food.
Oh,
so
really?
it's in the little pouches, and it's got curry right in it. It's a very mild one. Part of my job is I got to taste the different kinds of baby food that we're potentially carrying, and it was fun that they, you know, even for infants, it's introducing the concept of putting spices into their foods.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, because I think it's a required taste. Yeah, not so much. I think it depends on how you make it, but it's one of those things that once you introduce it and start playing around with it, there's just so much that opens up. So
we were talking about how curry has so many different flavors, and you said that there are specific curries to different places. You get a curry mix made from Dearborn, Michigan?
Yeah, yep.
And the secret to Dearborn, Michigan having great curry is what?
Well, it's Middle Eastern.
Because I think Dearborn, Michigan, Middle Eastern.
Yeah,
no, that's not a comment. That's not fusion.
It's the highest population of Middle Eastern people in the U.S.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so there's a, you know, I'm actually married into a family that has an uncle that is Iraqi.
Okay.
And so his family is, we've actually had a couple years, and it's becoming a tradition, as a curry cook-off. And so all the family members, just because we all sort of like playing with curry,
right?
There's a couple cooks that actually do it professionally that come in. Now I haven't won.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know, I can't. I haven't figured out how
to lower our bar a little bit here.
I haven't been able to beat the chefs yet, but
okay.
We all sort of play around with different recipes and come in, and we're supposed to sort of introduce it, and we set them up, and we have judges, family members come in and judge.
Yeah.
And
if you ever need an extra judge, I know I'm not related, but I mean, I volunteer.
It's a great tradition, but I think, you know, it's just interesting because I said you start talking about different curries. The Middle Eastern influences are drastically different. My sister lives in Nashville. She cooks. She's married to a South African gentleman, so there's a lot of different variations there. And then I have another sister who lives in Detroit, and you know, there's a lot of different variations that she plays around with. But we're all sort of defining our own identity through how we cook with curries. So
now, it looks like the chicken is about ready now.
All right, it's
so we're going to move it over to put that back on here. All right.
I'm going to put the chicken in.
Yum. I feel like I'm getting a nice steam cleaning here too with the bath of steam. It's lovely. Good for your skin and to eat.
That's right.
It's a multitasking curry chicken here. I like it. Can I take that for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'm going to put a little bit more ginger in just because the smell could be a little bit stronger on that. So I'm always careful with that. And then mix them together, and then I'm going to start adding in the other seasonings. So the next thing I do is I'm going to add in, I have about a quarter cup of vinegar. This is apple vinegar, but I can use a malt vinegar.
Okay.
And I'll use probably about a tablespoon and a half of curry.
All right.
And I'll see how it smells and sort of mix that together. And this is garam masala. And I'll use just a tablespoon of that.
Now, if you would explain to somebody the difference between curry and garam masala, how would you describe the differences?
I'm going to leave that to you.
You're
the expert.
So I was doing a little research on the whole curry thing.
Hopefully that was a rhetorical question.
No, I thought maybe you would, because you have your special Dearborn, Michigan curry. Yeah. So garam masala tends to be not so hot. Was what I was reading about with the different types of curry, though. Garam means hot, and then masala is the spices. So I'm not exactly sure, but that was what I read. That it's not as hot as some of the curries, where the curries are going to have the peppers in them and the peppercorns in them, and you can put chili peppers in curry too, just depending on, like you said, there's just kind of a whole medley of different kinds of curries that you can use. But a garam masala is going to be less likely to be spicy.
Interesting. So I'll put in probably about a cup or 2 cups of water.
Okay.
So I'll probably add another cup here, and the reason why is I'm going to add all my vegetables and then start to cook down those vegetables.
Oh my goodness. That's great with the
I like lots of carrots.
Okay.
You know, I said so. I usually overdo the carrots just because I want a lot of vegetables. I'm not going to. I'll never put another side of vegetables into this. You know, on the side of the plate of this.
Okay.
So usually I want to cook as many vegetables as I can into it.
It's a one dish wonder.
One dish wonder.
It's a South African hot dish.
That's right.
Okay.
So, and then, you know, you're gonna put potatoes in it as well. I've cut up potatoes. I now realize it's starch on starch because you're gonna put it on rice too. So
hey,
you know, use however
that's all right.
However you feel. But the potatoes add a great flavor to it. And
do they help with the thickening of the curry then
they
too?
They thicken it up as well, and that's why you're going to start to see as you're cooking this up, as those potatoes start to cook down, you're going to have to add more water.
Okay.
Because you do want to have a lot of sauce, and not have it be a dry curry. The flavors, you know, are really going to start to cook into that liquid. So.
Now, do you find that you have to add quite a bit of salt to that then, because potatoes tend to absorb salt too?
Yep.
Okay.
You know, you're gonna find that you're gonna want to add quite a bit, and just taste it through. You're gonna want to keep tasting it through cooking it.
Okay.
Because you'll start to realize that balance of, you know, salt and pepper and that sort of, you know, to taste.
Right.
Find out sort of what you like in the flavors.
So we're going to give this a couple of minutes because it's got the carrots and the potatoes obviously have to cook down. And we will come back in just a minute and we'll kind of let this cook down and we'll come back for more in just a minute.
Okay, thank you.
It's that time of year, summer's over, and the holidays are upon us. One of my favorite times to get together with family and friends. Deals are better in the country, so make the short drive down Highway 149 to Furniture Warehouse in Cumberland City. You'll be glad you did. Is there a particular style you're looking for? No problem. Here at Furniture Warehouse, we're happy to sit down with you, go through our many fabric options, and find something to fit your exact home decor. So get out of town and come on down to Furniture Warehouse Sales in Cumberland City, Tennessee. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Welcome to Andy's Full Service Pharmacy and Nutrition Center. We're locally owned with the most friendly and experienced staff to provide fast, accurate service. We treat you like family and offer everything you need, including orthotics, support hose, socks, greeting cards, and much more. And we'll do better than anyone else on cash prices. You'll enjoy shorter wait times and complimentary Coke while you wait. And we also have a convenient drive-through window. We're focused on you and accept all insurance plans, including TennCare, Medicare, Medicaid, and Workman's Comp.
My name is Chuck Griffin. Not only is Andy's a pharmacy, but we also have a full-line nutrition shop. We carry the top 100 sellers in the country. So if we can help you with your nutrition and supplement needs and weight loss, please come by and see me. And let us make you a fresh fruit smoothie.
So please visit Andy's Pharmacy and Nutrition Center today, and you'll never want to go anywhere else.
Okay, we're back. Our curry has simmered and stewed down into this delicious blend that we've got plated up here. Derek, it looks amazing. It smells incredible. That vinegar is coming through really nicely. And you said we've kind of got our little salad bar, or no, what did you call it? Ice cream toppings?
Ice cream toppings.
Like ice cream toppings, sunny toppings. Okay,
absolutely.
so we've got some bananas, some raisins, some Spanish peanuts, tomatoes, cilantro, pineapple, and a little extra curry.
Yep, and some chutney.
Oh, tell us about your chutney.
This is a South African chutney. It's called Mrs. Ball's chutney, and it is. It's in world market. It's very tough to find, but when I do find it, I will generally buy the stock in that. But there's a lot of different chutneys in grocery stores. Try them. There's raisins. There's tomato paste. There's a lot of different types of rich chutneys. I would just encourage you to add a chutney to the final mix.
Chutney is what we need. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all these delicious different toppings on here. We're going to get to sample this. We also have our Coach Cannon cookies. That's what we're going to call them from now on. Coach Cannon's curry cardamom cookies, because that's just a lot of fun. I am so glad you guys were able to come on the show today to do the curry episode with me. We're very excited to try all this. Our big thing here at the Tree of Life Market is we encourage people not to just eat food, but to eat good food, and I think we definitely are going to be eating some good food today. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Go out and see some Austin Peay football.
Let's go Peay.
Let's go Peay. We'll see you again next time.